Hello. Hi, Prati. Hi, good morning. Um, After ages, I'm going live on a Sunday, but it's the season of music and dance in particular. Um, and with so many of my friends who are gearing up to present this fantastic production envisaged by Usha RK, who really needs no introduction, who's an artist, arts administrator, cultural curator, but over and above all, I've literally just gotten to know her in the last 6 months or so, but really someone with a keenness and commitment to detailing, and of course to the art. So I'm really excited to be in conversation with the entire team of Usha RKG's production Adi Ashtakam that premieres as part of the Pongal Dance Festival tomorrow, on the 9th, the day after tomorrow, Tuesday, at the Krishna Gana Sabha. We're going to be starting our conversation with Usha RKG, who will really set the context and tell us what this production is about. And while gearing up for this conversation, and we were keen to sort of speak with everybody, all the 6 dancers who are part of this production, it was also really a reinforcement, not just of the fact that so many dancers from across cities have collaborated on this production, but also how, even as we speak today, each of these dancers is super busy. One is on their way back from the airport, another has a production that is a show that's in progress. Someone else is at the baggage counter picking up their bags. But the beauty of it is Instagram, online conversations allow us to sort of, log in and jump in wherever we are. But also really hats off to Ushaji to really bring all of them together despite them being, artists in their own right, and really envisage a production like this and really execute it. So we're really looking forward to watching it. But before that, this is a prelude to Adi Ashtakam. So after my introduction now, I'm going to invite Ushaji. I've been reading a little bit about it, about how it is really sort of brings, it's a visualization of, okay, so here you are. Hi, namaste.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. So I was trying to paraphrase the what Adi Ashtakam is about. But since you're here, I'm sure you're going to do a way better job. So without much ado, Ushaji, I'm going to ask you really about how you chanced upon the idea of Adi Ashtakam. And secondly, we will segue into how you chose to, really cast each of these dancers, and how, for example, Kirtana represents Ganga, and, if you can talk to us about the role of casting as a director. So let's start with the premise, intent, and genesis of Adi Ashtakam.
Okay, so Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. In 2014, I went on a spiritual visit to Sringeri, and so while I was there, and they have this book stall and they have wonderful books there and all that, but because of the fact that
Ushaji, I think you're having some problem with your network. I think there is some network connectivity. Could you just check your Wi-Fi once, please?
yeah, I think this is better. Can you hear me? Can you?
Yes, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
So, in 2014, I visited Sringeri and I was looking at the books available, and they were in multiple regional languages and all that. And I could only read Devanagari. So I looked for a book in Devanagari script. And there was this beautiful book on the short compositions of Adi Shankaracharya. So they were all tiny, tiny compositions which could be very interesting to read or sing or learn. So I picked up the book, and then when we went inside the Guru Ashram for darshan, the book was in my hand when I went to do namaskaram to Swamiji, and he saw the book and he said, "Do something with this." And that was in 2014. It took me almost 9 years to actually work on a few Ashtakams, just about 6 or 7, and understand the meanings, understand the philosophy of it, traveled a bit to each of those places where the Ashtakams emerged from, and then figured out that there are a lot of meanings which while we chant, we don't understand. So we pray, we chant the mantras or the shlokas or the ashtakams, but we don't actually understand the meaning of it. We are unable to visualize. So for common man who is just chanting for faith and hope and prayer,
Yeah.
for them, the meaning and a visual in the eyes will make a big difference, because then they can actually visualize the Lord, how he is, and understand his attributes, and then know why we are praying to him. And a small example would be like, for example, Kala Bhairava. There is, and I keep quoting Kala Bhairava because that was the one where I started in Banaras. So
Right.
I found in one line, it says, Hema Kinkini Lasat Katim. Now, Hema Kinkini is actually golden bells. Lasat Katim, that means on a waist which has got a very beautiful shape. So on that, there is this whole beautiful bells, golden bells, where when Kala Bhairava dances, they all make sound. So this visualization, vis-a-vis what we see in the temple of a very dark, black, huge-eyed, scary structure, to this very delicate look of Kala Bhairava is something that was an eye-opener for me, And that is what interested me in knowing more meanings, understanding the philosophy behind these lines. And for example, he says, Niti Marga Kovidam, the one who is a Kovida or a master at judiciary, at justice, Niti Marga. So these are the attributes which actually made me feel very comfortable and wanted me to learn more. So I worked on each of them. Now, after having worked on them, I said, let's do it in dance. And then, so first we needed the music. I got this wonderful Vidya Hari Krishna, such a fabulous singer, and also because she's a part of the Kanchi Kamakoti Pitam serial on Adi Shankaracharya and the whole Matam itself. So it made sense. She knew everything. So when I called her and asked her, I want to do Ashtakam, she said, I ellame by part. I know it by heart, she said. And that was a big thing for me. And so pronunciation was important. And then I told her, don't have to go by the traditional musical concept. You think, visualize the deity and understand the meaning, and then choose the raga for it. So she selected each raga differently. And then compose the music for it. Once music was composed, we had to find the dancers to suit that character. And it just, every morning I would just think, okay, Prachi, Ganga. It just came, And I knew Mithun would have to do Kala Bhairava, and I knew Anand would have to do Dakshinamurti, because Dakshinamurti is such a highly intense philosophical thing about, so I needed somebody who had that kind of ability to communicate that. And I have to say that when I asked Kirtana to do Guru Ashtakam, she said, Akka, there's nothing in this. So, because we are so boxed within our, that, we have no scope for Sanchari, we can't do a Swaram, we can't do a Jati. So we are boxed within that format of ours, that when we hear something, we think, what will I be able to do in this? But as she started developing it, and she heard the music, worked at it, I think, she's received so much praise for her involvement and the way she got into that whole, where he says she actually choreographed beautiful jati based on the lines that are there in the Guru Ashtakam. It says, Shariram Surupam Yathava Kalatram. He says, you may have the most beautiful body, you may have the most beautiful looks, but Guru Rangri Padmai Manas Chinna Lagnam. If your mind is not centered at the lotus feet of your Guru, Tatah Kim, Tatah Kim, Tatah Kim, Tatah Kim. What use is all this? So this Tatah Kim, and she made a beautiful jati out of it, So it was very interesting the way the dancers picked up the element itself brought in the other things to it, and of course Vidya's music was so perfect for them, and then they all choreographed it themselves. uh, like I keep saying again and again, they are all very wonderful um, innovators. They have wonderful minds, they have nice vision, but at every point we need somebody to just tap them into the road. Otherwise sometimes they seem to just move a little bit away. We have to keep shepherding them, as I would say. But that's how the selection happened. It just happened by its divine in. I mean, I know it's often said, but then people will say, "Oh, I mean, it's not some high level thing." But it's just that they are made for that role, and they get it automatically. Everything is preordained. Well, I didn't think I would do Ashtakam. I can't even. I didn't study Sanskrit in school and college. I studied French and English, so it's a long way from where I started. That's how Adi Ashtakam came.
No, absolutely.
And then it
Fantastic.
well, so Bombay happened first.
Okay.
And, like Vaidehi, the granddaughter of Dr. Kanak Rele, I remember speaking with ma'am, and I had learned there many, many years ago. So I used to have a good relationship with ma'am. And then when she honored me last a year ago, 2 years ago, she said, वैदेही को यहाँ से उड़ना चाहिए. She should fly and go out and perform, and not just get stuck within the institution. So I thought somebody who is working in an institution, who's teaching there, what more than Saraswati or Sharada for her? So it just fitted, you see. So she did Sharada Bhujangashtakam first, and of course we have news with her, so we have moved her out and we have taken Shreyasi in her place because of the happy news. But I think that she was just made for it. She just looked like that beautiful Sharda there with the red costume and everything. Every artist has something in them that comes out, and then it speaks. So they just fit into that role well. So Bombay happened very beautifully, the premiere show, and then we went to Pune. Thanks to Arundhati Patwardhan, who did the Panduranga Ashtakam. I couldn't have asked for anyone better because she'd already worked on her Vitala Kshetra and she was doing it so well. So this worked well for her. And you see how innovative. Sucheta Tai composed a Kautvam for Panduranga.
Beautiful.
So within the format, we got some new things happening, with this thing, with this program. Then Pune, we did it in Bangalore, and all the 3 programs were very successful. Now the second phase, we are doing Chennai, then we will do Bombay again for a second time, and then we'll go to Delhi. So that's what is Adi Ashtakam for everyone.
Fantastic. Usha ji, I'm going to start bringing in the dancers one by one, and I will also have a conversation with Vidya. But I'd like for you to stay on so that if there are any additional inputs that you can share with us, it would be fantastic. Yeah. So I'm going to start. Arundhati ji, if you are ready, I could send you an invitation to join. I know that you're in the middle of... all right. If Prachi is free, could I invite Prachi?
Okay, Kirtana is ready.
Prachi, just give me a thumbs up. If you give me a thumbs up, Prachi, I'll send you an invitation to join, please.
Kirtana is also ready. You can call her if you want.
Yes, Prachi is ready. So I'm just going to invite Prachi, who extols the value of Ganga in this production, Ganga Ashtakam. Hello.
Hello. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste, Prachi.
Hello.
Congratulations. Namaste. Congratulations on your show last evening.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was really fun. I think.
Yeah.
It's a lovely place.
Prachi, could you just stay in one place because I think the camera is moving a little. Yeah. This is good. Yeah.
I shall be stationed here.
Okay, you can't be Ganga in this conversation, okay?
I can't be flowy.
Yeah, you can't do a Ganga here. Yeah. Okay. Well, Prachi, I just want to ask you one question, really. Actually, 2. One is really by virtue of really understanding these ashtakams that extol the beauty, the majesty, the dynamism of Ganga. What were some of your key takeaways, and how did this how did you understand Ganga a little better? And when you were looking at it also, were you looking at it through the lens of like, how can you actually, for a lay person like me, who just reads these ashtakams and may not really, how do you bring alive Ganga through your dance? Could you just respond to that?
So I was actually very thrilled because Akka chose me for Ganga. And contrary to what she said, what Kirtana thought, what is there to be done? I was under the impression, oh my God, there's so much I can do with Ganga, and I can do this and I can do that. And I also somewhere got stuck because the Ashtakams are written so beautifully, and they are so deep in their meaning, that I somewhere felt very stuck, like, okay, how will this be shown? Okay, how can I show this? Then I even somewhere was struggling with movements, because you've seen a lot of water movements, but they were also very repetitive. Also some things that you have seen and you feel like, no, but I want to try something else. So a lot of struggle. So either ways it's difficult, when you feel you have nothing, and then when you feel you have so much. So both the extremities is somewhere, I feel ultimately, if you have to work on something, you just have to go through the grind. So I, in fact, thankfully, Akka gave us a lot of time. Like, she gave us a couple of months to kind of brood over this. I took help from Himanshu, who kind of helped me understand the words, the meaning, because there are, like, with Sanskrit, the sandhi is such that one akshara here and there, and the meaning changes completely.
Changes.
So
Absolutely.
we had to work very critically on those areas. And then there is this one, in fact, I would limit my conversation because there are others to come, and I know I don't want to take too much time on that. I quickly want to just talk about my experience about the famous story of Ganga being locked in Shiva's hair. And typically, we've always seen this, that Shiva comes, shows his jata, locks it, and one stream of Ganga. That's all
Correct.
like, at least in my limited experience, that's all I've seen and heard. And then I
Yeah.
thought to myself, no, there has to be more drama in this. And you've always thought of Ganga as being the one that Parvati is jealous of. So that little side angle is also there with her. So I decided to kind of explore that. So there is a little Sanchari which I have imagined. This is my imagination of how Shiva would have captured Ganga in his matted locks. So I would really urge everyone to come and maybe just watch it and just give me feedback how they felt about it. I thoroughly enjoyed that portion. That's my most favorite part of the Ashtakam.
Fantastic. Prachi, I'm also thinking that this is such a master stroke by Usha ji, because it also allows each of you to interpret, each of these gods in the way that you'd like. But also, what we're seeing is also your personality of the interpretation, right? Like, it just like through, like, I'm sure, like, for example, 2 years later, if she decided to place Ganga on Kirtana, I
It'll
think
be
the
different.
Ganga will just come alive differently, right?
Yes.
So it's also a celebration of the singularity and the collectiveness and possibilities, really.
Yeah.
I want to say something at this point about this point, particularly about Akka, because she is so brilliant with how she puts this all together. Like, she has this brainwave, and then she knows the people. Then she will just give us prompts. And then meticulously, the first rehearsal will be like an examination day kind of a thing. And then she will have a little notebook ready where she will give us 1 or 2 points. I love the way she gives us absolute freedom to explore, absolute freedom of expression. Even if somebody, like, you have to watch Kala Bhairava Ashtakam. It's the most outrageous Ashtakam I've ever seen in my entire life. And for a moment we thought, okay, what is Akka going to, how is she going to react to that? And she's like, okay, that is Mithun, that's his interpretation. I'm going to let him be with that. And that is the beauty of how she curates things. And I think for every dancer, it's such an interesting opportunity to get to work with her, because she pushes us in directions that we need. So
No,
I really want to take
absolutely.
this opportunity to thank Akka for having us
Yeah.
all on board for this one.
Thank you so much, Prachi. And we're
Thank
really,
you.
really looking forward to how you're going to bring Ganga alive through the Ashtakam
Yes.
day after tomorrow.
A
Wishing you the
small
very
bit
best.
I want to add for her is in the
Yeah.
Ashtakam what to look out for, So many times Ashtakara has drawn us to the fact that Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara as a trinity are one, So when she shows Ganga, he refers to the fact that he is from the Kalasha of Brahma, and then he comes, washes the feet of Vamana, and then comes and ties himself in the locks. Then he ties the locks in the locks of Shiva. So again, you find this trinity concept, and it is there in multiple ashtakams, but to highlight it and then pick the story there in the ashtakam. So when you read, you'll say there is no scope at all, but actually there is and it's not just bhakti. This is another part. Every ashtakam has all rasa in it.
Yeah.
So when you're showing the river, when he's angry, or when you're showing Vamana, you're showing the arrogance and this. So you're seeing all the stories emerging with all the rasas. Not just every time only bhakti. Bhakti is the final crescendo or the crown of all these rasas after experience.
Correct.
You experience all this, then reach the ultimate. That is how we looked at it, and I think the trigger we have some, like in some music, cinema music and all. If you see, they'll have certain portions, which the moment you play a song or hear a song, that is coming. That phrase is going to come, and that keeps coming again and again. So you'll remember the song again and again. Like for example, Barsat mein tak dina din. Now that tak dina din is the trigger there. It will keep coming again.
The
so
recurring.
even after years of Raj Kapoor, we'll still say tak dina din. So I wanted that these people take the technique from there, but use it in their presentation. So they make that tak dina din part in each of their ashtakams. So it will keep repeating, and then the moment it comes, the audience has one kind of they just have
a reminder. Yeah, great. Yeah, thanks, Prachi. I'm going to all the best. I'm going to invite Mithun or Keertana. Since Keertana is here, Keertana, welcome. I just sent your invitation. Hello from Chennai Airport.
No, I'm still in Bombay. Happy New Year. Yeah. And apologies for my beautiful voice today.
That's okay, Keertana. Fortunately, Guru Ashtakam, you don't have to sing, so I suppose that's all right.
So happy to see you all today.
Yeah. Keertana, firstly, I want to start because Usha ji particularly mentioned, while describing talking about the premise intent of this work, she made a reference to how initially you felt a bit limited by the possibilities of the Guru Ashtakam. Do you just want to tell us a little bit about, before I invite the next speaker, a little bit about when did you finally find the wings to fly with it? Because I'm sure if you said it was limiting, it was limiting. Why was it limiting? And when did that moment of that epiphany or whatever happen for you?
So as soon as Akka gave me the Ashtakam, I was like very grateful. I said thank you. And I was very excited to be part of this production. Also, I'd like to mention that it came after like 3 months of no performances in the middle of last year. And I was just recovering from influenza. So it was at a very opportune moment and time. And it really changed the course of the year for me. So, but when it came, I was so happy. I was just grateful for it. But then I started reading the Ashtakam every day promptly in the morning after bath, and I was like, I'm like, what am I going to do? So there is only one. What is it? What is it? So what? So what? So it kept playing in my mind for like 2-3 months. I'm like, how am I going to interpret this? And I was hitting a wall every time I got up to, try and choreograph. Then I said, no, I will choreograph it only after I completely understand it, and after something comes, after I get inspiration, only I'm going to get up and move. So I just kept listening to the song multiple times, reading it over. Like I think I took like more than 1.5 months just to assimilate what Shankara was trying to tell us through the Ashtakam, and I didn't get anywhere for the longest time. I think maybe 2 weeks before the program date, that's when I started getting some idea of how I could probably do it. Because when you look at the Ashtakam, it's very simple if you just look at it at that way. But then the subtext and the gravity of each word, of each line is so infinite. It is almost difficult to do that in dance, I felt. But then after reading up about Guru Tattvam, and I had a conversation with Himanshu and I referred to another Guru Padukashtakam of Adi Shankara. That's when I got metaphors and ideas and images in my mind to interpret this Ashtakam. So I haven't really gone word by word for this Ashtakam because I felt like there's so much that he's trying to allude to. So I used more images, more metaphors. And then luckily on the day of the on the day of the first show, like Tachi mentioned, the first examination, Shaka was very happy to see the way I had interpreted it. And also for me, it was the first time when music, dance, everything kind of came together. So, it was a great moment after you deliver your exam. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Taka, who's known to mince no words, and she appreciated me a lot. And she had tears in her eyes that day, and I felt so great.
Validate.
I just very overwhelmed at that moment because even when the Ashtakam came to me, also it came at a time when I was like, why don't I have any shows? I don't have work. What am I doing? So it came in that part of the year for me. So really, this changed the game for me and it changed the year. And there is like she always has the right eye. She picks up the right topic for each person. So I just trusted. I said if she chose me to do this, there must be some reason. I'm like Guru, Bhagwan, Jo bhi ho, please give me open something and just help me out with this. So luckily it came at the right time.
Yeah, fantastic. This is
You
almost
know,
like a Guru Payarchi type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
I have to mention that in Bangalore, after the program, Mr. Radhakrishnan saw the program, and when it got over, hers is the last piece, so it actually assimilates the whole philosophy of what we are trying to say. And even in Bombay, many teachers and gurus who had come, Odissi and other styles, they said, "ये आपने बहुत अच्छा किया उषा जी कि young students को गुरु क्या है, गुरु से be grateful to guru, all these concepts. I think it's very important for this generation to understand, because somehow the formal education has removed that flavor of guru shishya parampara. We are now we are treating dance teaching almost like a formal education. So you go to a class and come for 2 hours, whereas that whole philosophy of understanding the guru, etc., is not happening. At such a time, the least we can do is to tell them the attributes of a guru, and that comes out very well in this thing, because he says nothing is of any use if you don't have that one center point where your focus is. That is guru. That's it. After that, everything falls into place. That's what he's trying to say. So it really worked well. And then Radhakrishnan said, the last item, who's that girl who had done? So I said, Kirtana, our Kirtana from Bangalore. He said, oh, our Padmini student Kirtana. I said, yeah. Saying, oh, cloud Kirtana, wa, he said. Because she did this cloud funding for her program and all that. And he said, my God, I had tears in my eyes, Usha. I mean, a 70+ gentleman sitting there, and who is entrenched in philosophy, who is a Vedic Pandit, who is Shishya of Swamiji in Sringeri. For him to actually feel that we had done something proper and that she did that well and he was moved with it, I think made success of my choice for Kirtana.
thank
And all the
you
best.
so
Thank
much.
you,
Say,
Tata.
rock
Thank you,
everything.
Akila. Thank
Kirtana,
you.
can't wait to watch it. All the very best.
Yeah,
Okay.
very excited.
See
But I
you.
have to be like this for my Guru Ashtakam, although I'm feeling like this. But yeah,
See you soon in
thank
Chennai.
you.
Okay.
Yes,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to invite Mithun to join the conversation now. I mean, we've been talking about Kala Bhairava, so it would be lovely to, to really for Mithun to share how he interpreted and really made Kala Bhairava, the Ashtakam, his own. Hi, Mithun. You just need
Hi.
to switch the camera,
Yeah.
I think. Hi.
Hi. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Hi,
We
how are
just
you?
met
Good
in Krishna Gana
morning.
Sabha a few days ago.
Yes, that's right, Mithun. Lovely to meet you. Your
Lovely to-
video is also a bit patchy. Do you just want to check your Wi-Fi once?
It is,
Yeah, this is okay.
for me, it's
This
quite
is
clear.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah. Okay. Mithun, we have from the beginning of this conversation 20 minutes ago, we've been making constant reference to Kala Bhairava. And Prachi also talked about how it's one of the, I think she used the word outrageous. So I just want to ask you really about when you got the opportunity to work on the Kala Bhairava Ashtakam, what were some of your initial thoughts? And how is it also, you've already performed it thrice. By virtue of, inhabiting this Ashtakam and this Kala Bhairava over time, how has your relationship or understanding of Kala Bhairava itself changed?
Namaste, Usha ma'am. I worked on a lot of projects with Usha ma'am, and every time she has given me very challenging, fantastic topics, which has helped me explore a lot of facets of the art. But when Kala Bhairava was given to me, it was, I think, the most abstract, the most something that it's not easy to get information about him because it is not just one kind of a facet. He has too many different kinds of, Kala Bhairavas are 52 in some, texts. There are some 108 types of Kala Bhairavas in other texts. So it was very confusing with this approach, what approach to go to. Luckily, I was going to Nepal at that time for 10 days, and I went to Pashupatinath Mandir, where there is a beautiful Kala Bhairava temple. So I just stood in front of him and I was like, I don't know which side of you to project here. There are so many different. And Kala Bhairava is that moment, that 1 second. He's not a second to the past or to the future. He's that moment, and he's
Moment
in
in
that.
time, yeah.
Yeah, moment in time. So I was really confused about which part to bring in. And like we had close to 2, 3, 4 months to work on it, but nothing came. I was just dwelling on it. After that visit to Pashupatinath, and after standing in front of him for some time and came back, the entire choreography happened within about 10 minutes. I just read the Ashtakam, and next to each paragraph, I just wrote what I was going to do. Usha ma'am guided me saying about, that Kinkini Lasat Katim. So she said, see, everybody thinks Kala Bhairava is this ferocious and, horrible looking kind of, energy. But there is so much of beauty in him. I want you to bring out the beauty in Kala Bhairava. So I took certain Kati Bhedas, which, would enhance that part. And then there is this part where he's dancing with all his ganas, where I took typical Tapanguta movements because in my imagination, he's vibrantly dancing with all his ganas. So that masculine energy. So that part came in beautifully over there. So uh, it has been a fantastic experience. I think it's very visual. It's very visual to connect with Kala Bhairava, and it's abstract. I think each of my audience who watch this would get a different perception. What I have, the feedback and the kind of, people, what after my program, what people have told me is, now I'm curious to know who Kala Bhairava is. I'm going to read about him. I'm going to find out why did you do these things? Why was there suddenly a Kati Bheda and you're doing with Arabic kind of a music? La, 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 la. That's how that music is. It's so beautiful. So why did that come in? And why is he doing Tapangutta? And why are there dogs next to him? So the Jati starts with the dog barking. And so, so why are the dogs there? And why is he doing such things? So everybody's curious. I think I just gave brief descriptions of him in each paragraph and then left it to the audience to go explore Kala Bhairava. And that is what is happening. And exactly like how I wanted. Yeah, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Usha ji, I want to ask you a question really about, this is really also the coming together of a religious text, which is also very loaded with philosophy and also obviously great amounts of lessons in spirituality, right? So I want to understand from you, like by each of them really understanding and interpreting each of these ashtakams, is the intent also to really celebrate each deity and the philosophy and the spirituality that is really like loaded in each of in who they are and what they extol?
See, somehow we are restraining all these philosophical concepts to religion, in ritualistic religion, I will say.
Yeah.
mostly they are just restraining it to the chanting and to the need for addressing and our requirements and our needs and all this. So I thought we should bring it out from that, and if we are able to understand the philosophical underlining meaning, then even that ritualistic part gets more meaning. It's meaningful. For example, he said he did this tapangutate. Now in that, I know everybody say, "Arey, what is she allowing him to do?" But understand, it says there, Vichitra Tandava Priyam. He and with all the bhutas are his ganas. He's dancing with them. How can the bhutas be perfect Bharatanatyam dancers? They are not. And how can a Vichitra Tandavam be like the Nataraja's Tandavam at Chidambaram? Cannot. So, and then, in the north of India, if you go to the Kalabhairava temple, what you give there to Kalabhairava is a small bottle of liquor. Okay, so you know this common myth that in the smasanam they all drink. The people who do the kriyas there, the burning and all, they all are almost having a lot of liquor because they have to sort of get into a stupor to do these things. It's too visualized, so they control themselves probably with that. That's a myth that is going on. But having said that, in every Kala Bhairava temple, they accept liquor as the prasada, and in a small bottle they sell there only, and then they go and give that bottle inside. So I thought a person who all the ganas who are in that stupor cannot be dancing perfect aramandi and arambas and what have you. So I said, let the tandava be a rejoicement and a relaxation. Body has to be relaxed, it can't be stiff, because that is the philosophy of how you relax the body there. They will be in their own stupor and their own verve and their own energetic movement. So try and see how you can encapsulate, but at the same time keeping within the outer formats. So it is like you're in the limit of the city, but you're not sitting inside a boxed flat, So roam in the garden, give yourself a little bit of space, try to do something which will bring the essence of that Vichitra Tandava Priyam. Try to bring that into it, and not make it look like just some Tandava. Give it that feel. And that's when Kala comes to life, And I think Mithun has attended. And the first look, everybody was like, what is this? And they were so sure that I'm going to say no. But I choose to give freedom to the dancers always in all my productions. I don't enter that space, I say, if they don't do all the Akila, they are not going to, then what's the idea? That it's like another teacher teaching them, I'm not.
No, of course. Yeah.
They are themselves the creators.
Yeah.
And so we allow.
No, for sure.
But I'll give them the outer limit of the city so that they don't go away.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mithun, we're really looking forward to, because especially in the context that we are in, where we're witnessing performances with distracted audiences, I feel like Kala Bhairava has a very crucial role to play about recognizing that this is the moment in time, and it is crucial that we are in this moment in time without checking our mobile phones and all of that. So really looking forward to watching your performance. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I'm going to invite Arundhati Patwardhan, who's ready now to join.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Arundhati ji, I just sent you an invitation to join, please. Hello. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hi. I think you're in the middle of a performance, right?
Yes, I'm at the auditorium. So,
Thank you so
I hope
much.
I'm audible.
You're absolutely audible.
Yeah.
Your internet connection is also fantastic. Thank you for taking time out to do this. I'll keep this super
Pleasure.
short. But I just want to ask you, obviously, you're doing the Panduranga Ashtakam. I mean, hailing
Yes.
from Maharashtra, Panduranga is obviously very close to your heart. You probably
Yes.
grown up, you probably have already inhabited, internalized Panduranga's philosophy, spirituality, all of this. But through these Ashtakams, through these 8 lines, right? What did you bring to your interpretation of Panduranga?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Akhila, for doing this. Thank you, Usha ji, for making me part of this whole production, because I did a small Kshetra thing for Usha ji, and that an excerpt from my production to Kamhane. But this was something different, as you rightly said. Uh, Shankaracharya's perspective of Vithala is quite philosophical.
Hmm.
Here in Maharashtra, it is more a bhakti sampradaya. It is more
Hmm.
of the commoners, he is a commoner's god. So all the
Correct.
bhakti is done in a very colloquial way. But
Yeah, yeah.
Shankaracharya brings forth a very different aspect of Vithala, that he
Vithala.
is incarnation of Vishnu. And how that is done is, he says in one stanza that Brahma made the Sat Jagat, and he is the bridge between the Sat and Bhavat, and that is why he is keeping his hands on his waist. So at the middle, that near his nabhi, the both the jagats meet, So it is quite philosophical
Powerful,
perspective
yeah.
of Vitala. Yeah, and that's why he says that his hands are on the waist. See, there is iconographical reference. There are different
Of course.
references of his form, but this is something which I felt that Shankaracharya sees it, the same God, he sees it in a different way. He sees it as Krishna also, and that's why there is Krishna Stuti, Krishna Varnan also comes in the last stanza. So I felt that I have to take Vithala as the Vaishnava periphery. It is like Vishnu, that is Krishna, its incarnation, and Vithala, the local god. So it's like everything coming
Together.
together in that in that form, though
Right.
very philosophical, yet very very easy to approach. That is how we see Vitthal.
Right.
The Sen poets have even fought. There are poetries like they have fought directly with the god. So I feel that Vithala is very close to every. He can be very close to everyone. He is very close to everyone's heart. And with the Sanskrit language, the beauty of the language is such that closeness, that sparsha of God meeting the bhakta comes very beautifully in this poetry. And I was very touched. And my friend, actually, the music for my Ashtakam is done by Shri B. Anantaraman, who is a violinist himself, and he's from
Okay.
Mumbai. And but of course, Vidya sung it. I mean, she sings it so well that the whole musical composition, becomes alive, and it gives a lot of, like it's like Angen Alambayat Gitam. Automatically, the dance comes out. The bhava comes out. So that's what I think about this composition, and I have to thank Usha ji for this. I mean, like Kirtana said, she literally knows whom to give which compositions.
Yeah.
She knows
Yeah.
the USPs, the plus points of that particular dancer person, and that brings out the best from us. That's
Okay.
that's uh,
Arundhati, I'm going to ask you a fun question now. Now, in these ashtakams, suppose you had the opportunity, let's just say, knowing Ushaji, let's just say that 2 years later, she says that you will pick another,
yeah,
Lord or another God
yeah.
to, which God would you pick?
Kala Bhairava. I want to do that.
Okay.
We are
That's
all
great.
My
Kalabai.
interpretation of Kala Bhairava.
That's
You
great.
know,
Ushaji, perhaps edition 2 is like,
yeah. Interestingly, in this Panduranga Ashtaka, the repetitive line which comes three times is Parabrahma Lingam Bhaje Pandu. Now, Parabrahma and Lingam being Ishvara or Shiva, Bhaje Panduranga. So again, you see the Trinity
okay.
concept establishing here, So that line so beautifully, Parabrahma Lingam Bhaje Pandurangam is like the anthem of this Panduranga Ashtakam. It is so uh, we we are seeing different from different eyes. We are seeing different flowers blooming within that same
Awesome.
tree.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Arundhati ji, for doing this.
Thank
Really, very
you.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to watching it
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.
Shreyasi, are you ready? Can I invite you? Vidya, we will speak with you after we finish speaking with Anandji so that, you could sum up the music for us. And I thought it would be a befitting sort of finale to our conversation. Hello.
Hello. Happy New Year. Namaste, Akka.
Thank
Namaste.
you, Shreyasi. Wish you the same. Okay.
Thank you.
This is our
Shreyasi,
newest entrant.
Hi. Shreyasi, so are you in Chennai already?
No, I'm getting there tonight.
Okay.
I'm coming to Chennai tonight.
Okay. Looking forward to your watching you. Shreyasi, tell us a little bit about, is this the first time you're working with Usha ji?
No, so I have been working with Ushaka for a very long time. The first performance was, I think, immediately after I came back from Kalakshetra, which was, I think, 8-9 years back. And it's been a really successful journey and a journey that I actually really look forward to. And every time that I do something new with Ushaka, it opens my mind to something very different, from Anda to Draupadi to Attilana, Dr. Balamurali Krishna Attilana to now this. And I mean, it's been very different. And for me, especially, I think in comparison to all the dancers or the performers, the artists, it's slightly different because it was being done by another artist, and I have to fill in those shoes, which is a big responsibility.
Of course.
And especially with the music and everything already having been composed.
Yeah.
It is set. And the choreography has also been set by Uma ma'am and Deepak sir. So it is, and even Vaidehi. So for me to, what more can I add to it? And that definitely
Was a
has been a
challenge.
challenge. Yes, it has been, because I mean, they're all very senior and great artists. How can I even better it? But I can't better it. It's even get somewhere close.
Right.
Yes.
Shreyasi, so what have you added? What is that little thing of Shreyasi that we're going to see? Considering that you say that was already set, what did you bring to it, and how did you sort of internalize Sharada?
So interestingly for me, I mean, when Akka said Sharada, I said okay. I said yes. It's the first performance of the year for me, and I said okay, very excitedly. And then I had to go back and think about the character and read up, because I've heard Ashtakams only at a very later stage in life when I was studying at Kalakshetra. Before, my knowledge of Ashtakams was very limited. And especially Sharda Ashtakam, when I actually read it, I said, okay, now how do I go about this? And then when I heard the music, it's already set. How do I go about it? And slightly differently. So without changing the essence of the whole piece, what I'm bringing to the table here is adding to the choreography part of it, in terms of the nritta, the abhinaya, certain aspects where I could add my little bits. But I don't want to take away from the whole production, because it's been done and thought of in a certain manner. And to change the Alaripu that is being done, it's 11 beat Alaripu. I will not be able to do justice to it, I feel. So in that aspect, I think I'm trying to keep the essence the same and the choreography as close to what it was before.
Right.
Yes.
Right. What are some of the qualities of Sharda that you sort of really, that you got to understand by virtue of engaging with these Ashtakams?
So the quality of the mother, actually, because Sharda Amba is how it is said, and in the choreography, in the composition, in the Ashtakam, the final line says that I pray to the mother, and I still, the eternal mother, and who I wish to see, see and be with.
Hmm.
And somewhere I think for me, when I was reading that consistently throughout the Ashtakam, to portray a mother is very difficult. We are used to portraying Nayikas, etc., but to show a mother and the emotions, we watch and learn from our gurus, but to actually show it is a challenge when you've not experienced it as much.
Right.
But on the flip side, so I had to, see people in my life who portray that character well. Like for me, my mother, my grandmother, some strong women, Usha RK, the way they, all my gurus, the way they do something with conviction, that has been like a very crucial point for me to show the strength of women and to show the character of Sharda in particular.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shreyasi. We really, really look forward to watching your portrayal of Shardamba. I'm going to invite Anand Sachidanandan, if he's here, to join this conversation. And then we will invite Vidya Hari Krishna. Anand.
In Shreyasi's case, because it was already set, and that's the biggest challenge for another dancer to step in there. I thought that, every adava and every expression looks different because we are uniquely made different,
Absolutely.
So,
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Whatever she does, it's going to look new and it's going to suit her body, and the way
sure.
she is. So,
and of course, this production itself, as Ushaji said, was born in Sringeri. So I think the idea of it came there. So I think you're super privileged to be able to
exactly. And when I saw the image of the goddess, and I said, oh my God, and Akka's always strategically chosen very strong characters for me, and female characters, very strong ones. So somewhere when Kirtana said about Akka picking the character, even Arundhati Didi, how she said it makes complete sense that she knows what will suit which person. And I think that I'm very grateful for to Akka, that she's always given me very strong characters. Like even to play Andal for that matter, it's not a small character to have to portray. So I'm very grateful to Akka for that.
Okay, thanks, Shreyasi.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. Okay.
See you.
I'm going to invite Anand Sachidanandan. Yes, Anandji, I just sent you an invitation.
This is like a marathon race.
It is. It is. But it's fun. I mean, I'm only doing the conversation. Hats off to you. You pulled off a huge production. But I think you're so used to being the captain of the ship and really stringing these different threads together. So
they are so adept, not much trouble at all, because they're so good and they understand. Their understanding senses are very, very good.
No, so for sure.
It's, with all of them.
But I have sent Anandji an invite.
Very divine, it doesn't work like that. Like, I know 100 dancers ask me, but when this Sharda replacement thing was happening, the first person, I just closed my eyes and saw who will be in that place. I got Shreyasi picture. So she had just come back from abroad. She was on a tenure ICCR. So I called her. I said, she was still packing and all when I called her. I said, are you ready now? Have you come back? She said, yeah, I just landed. I said, okay, have you unpacked and can you come into a production? She said, yes, Akka. They never say no. But for me, it's, they trust me so much. They say, okay, yes, we are there. But it is almost like divine only, the way it comes.
Sure, absolutely. Anandji, I've sent you an invitation. I don't know if you're receiving it. It says that the invite has been sent. If yes, could you join? Else, I could just invite Vidya and we could start the conversation with Vidya. So Vidya Hari Krishna from Mumbai has actually composed the music for this production. Hi, Vidya.
Namaste.
Namaste. How are you? Vidya, firstly, congratulations. Literally everyone I spoke with the last 45 minutes has made a special mention of the music. So we're very, very curious to understand, you're a musician, but also a music composer, and to, look at Ashtakams and set music for, like 6 different deities, with very, very different personalities who stand for different, represent different philosophies and different qualities of spirituality. What has that process been like for you? And how did you actually go about it? What was the process?
Wow. So firstly, I've always been watching Ushaka's production on Facebook. So many things I've been watching. And I always felt that, oh my God, why don't I, get an opportunity to work with Ushaka? And I think somewhere all the Tatastu and Adi Ashtakam,
Happened.
So when
Nice.
Ushaka called up and she said, this is the theme, Adi Ashtakam, I was like, okay, now this is my forte. Because during I had started learning to chant most of the Shankara Stotrani Stokams, everything, Ashtakams, Saundarya Lahari, everything was happening. So I almost started chanting everything. This helped me to kind of first be okay with composing. It's a very difficult. This was very difficult for this because every ashtakam was totally different. Not like Ganga Ashtakam could never come here. Splitting of sandhis was difficult. We couldn't split the words like that. So it was kind of like, how can I do this? It's a bit. So started racking my brains, and I really wanted every ashtakam to be very unique and stand by itself. When you listen to Ganga Ashtakam, okay, this has a jai. I want that. So started working on the meaning of it. How can it be? So I really like to speak with the dancers before. So I had already visualized every ashtakam my way, but then every dancer has what they think about the ashtakam, so that I can work alongside and make a creative process and very unique for each dancer, and likewise all 6 ashtakams would look very unique. So,
Different.
very unique and different. So, for example, like Ganga Ashtakam, when I spoke to Prachi, she said, we do it like, I want the travel from the north to the south and, like the Ganga flowing. So then the ragams were composed in such a way that you take a behak and then you come. And then composing everything, I wanted something to end with a, a particular tagline, you say. So I started.
She talked about it.
So after every paragraph, there could be Jai Gange, Jai Gange, something like that which would come. And at the end, I really visualized the Ganga Aarti. So I said we should end it with the Ganga Aarti. And, start the Jala, 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 Jal, Jal, Jal. So start with the music or the sound of Ganga or the river, end with the river, with the Aarti. So then this is Ganga came by when I spoke to her. So Leda Dakshinamurti had Anand had this beautiful thing of Soham coming in for if he wanted this word Soham, which is a Tattva word, the Panchakshara. So I thought, okay, why not me compose everything in 5 Audava ragas? So the whole Ashtakam is is divided into all 5 ragas, like Shuddha Hindora, Surya, which is a 5 notes relating to Soham. So the tattva of the dance or the Ashtakam and the music is like, kind of blending each other. So after every Ashtakam, I would just compose. Before that, I would pray to God, give me some ideas. After I composed, I would send it to Ushaka. And, one line of hers sounds so beautiful, Vidya. I am in tears. Would actually motivate me and give me that encouragement that I can go to the next one now. So started sending it to each dancer and Ushaka. And likewise, when the first rehearsal happened, I was so worried and I was like nervous that, Ushaka should be happy. And God's grace, and she was very happy. I mean, so many shows have gone by. So the creative process of, I think all the Ashtakams have been very unique, very interesting. And I'm very happy that it has just come for each one of us in our lives at the right time, starting with the Guru to have a lot more compositions, our one's journey,
Right.
So thank you, Ushaka, for having me on board for Adi Ashtakam. and it's like it's been very beautiful journey. Looking forward to Krishna Gana Sabha
Right.
day after tomorrow.
Right. One last question, Vidya, before we let you go, is really, is there like, each of these has like a, you said you talked about Ganga and you use Behag and then
Yeah.
whatever. But is there like a common recurring sort of riff or something that sort of brings all of these ashtakams together? How have you sort of brought them all together?
Brought them all together in the sense, each ashtakam, it's something to just get the meaning out of it in a proper way. To split the sandhis in such a way and get it all on the rhythm. So everything could be on the rhythm at the same time, bringing in the philosophical side of ashtakams. And at the end of it, it has to be, the entire ashtakam has to feel. Yes, everything has a plus point, like a shlokam at the end. But again, like the Buddha or the Guru or Dakshinamurti. So, everything at the end has to feel meditative. That was the, that was the first that I was thinking about. At the end of the show, it has to be end of the Ashtakam. Everything has to have a meditative, complete, that, each one closes their eyes and feels, wow, aha, it's just that. So that was what the intention at the end of composing each from Ashtakam. And yes, I think everything just fell in place. God's grace, Periva's grace.
Fantastic.
So, it is a group, but they're all solos.
Yes.
Actually,
Right. Okay.
I am promoting solo dancers, and I
So
want
at no point, Usha ji, they come together, yeah?
No.
Okay.
Only in the end, what we have done is we've got a small little prayer happening where we bring each of them into the stage, and they all, join together in a kind of a group picture. So the final visual is these are the different things that all come together in today's program. That's all. So in all my programs, they're all individual dancers.
Individual.
Only in the end, I bring them together so that
There is
everybody can see all.
Yeah,
and
together.
there is a combined energy, and each one is in their posture of their item, their
Fantastic.
piece, so that you can actually see all of them together. But actually, it is not a group, in the sense, I feel if somebody can work in choreography 20 minutes or 15 minutes of a single piece fully for themselves, if they're able to keep the audience hooked for 15 minutes continuously. And they've choreographed it themselves. They're not doing what the teacher has taught. We're not doing a Varnam which they learned earlier. They're doing a new thing by themselves. That is the challenge for them, and that is the passing of the examination. Then you can do a 45-minute piece, and then you can go on and great couple.
No, for sure.
But just like, each singer, but they all come as one as in a chorus, So it's so beautiful. And I think it's a production. Even the music arrangement, it's not only just creating the music. If you look at it, it's a production, it's a music. So every the Natuanar, or the person who's doing the Natuangam, everybody is like to a production, a music arrangement in every piece. So it's come out so well, blending so well into every Ashtakam that it's like a musical piece, or coming together.
Fantastic.
Looking forward for Jan 9th.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vidya. Thank
you.
you. I'm going to give Anandji
to get to Anand. Yeah, I'm not able to connect with him.
Yeah, I'm also not. I am trying to send him an invitation to join this conversation. Else, we'll just have to let it pass, I suppose.
Or is he on the flight, maybe, or something?
Yeah, it says that he's online. Vidya, you can log out. It's okay, no problem. We've sent Anandji an invitation to join, but he's unable to join, Usha ji.
Okay. So I can just describe a little bit of his work so that we'll cover him instead of in his absence. Yeah,
absolutely.
So Anand is doing the Dakshinamurti Ashtakam, which is like a high flow philosophical one, where you know, the concept actually talks about the various issues that the negative aspects that we have and how we overcome them, and how we should not be arrogant, and how we should have humility, and all these aspects are part of that teaching. And then to actually show all that in dance is very difficult.
Difficult. Yeah.
Somewhere there are some references, like he has said, you may think you're the greatest poet in this town, but you must understand that without humility you are nobody, and that there are many other people who are greater than you. Now this I mean, these are the kind of references that are there, and it's very tough. And I think Anand, with his wonderful background of training from Dhananjayan sir and Shantama, he did a wonderful job. You know, he actually brought it out very well, and similarly used the Soham, as she explained to Vidya. He when he did it in the 8 different directions to show how the entire universe is part of this Ashtadikpalika concept. You know, the Ashtadikpalas are one who hold everything together. So he tried a lot of interesting concepts within the main concept, and some kind of a visualization. When you talk of Dakshinamurti, you say, and then you think a tall, a very philosophically dignified human being, you think. So that's the visualization you will get, not like a Kala Bhairava or a Ranga, Panduranga. They all got different looks, no? So when you think like that, it was that Anand was the guy, you know. He's got that. And of course, he's done Rama earlier in my Divya Vivaha. So for me, I thought he's the perfect fit for it.
Be the perfect fit.
Yeah, but he worked very hard, very, very hard. So I really appreciate his thing. And I'm sure people will be very happy to see it in Chennai also.
Right. Thank you so much, Ishaji. Looking forward to watching this production the day after tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Krishna Gana Sabha. Tickets are available on ticket.com and at the Krishna Gana Sabha's box office. Wishing the entire team of Adi Ashtakam the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank Prabhu sir and Shashwati,
of course,
and for giving us this wonderful opportunity to bring Adi Ashtakam to Chennai, to Krishna Gana Sabha, which is, I mean, we rarely get such opportunities, and so it's my humble gratitude to them on behalf of the entire team. And thank you, Akhila, because I've slowly we understand the power of communication. Like everybody does, and so I thought it was important for the youngsters to get this. More than me, I think it's for them. The program is for them and for them to grow. So the next generation has to be, packaged and prepared and brought out in that manner. So thank you. In this journey, you are an integral part for us.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Help us. I want to thank all of them also.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.